A young Caucasian woman laughed at leaving a young Caucasian man. He didn't react. Until one phone call changed everything.
It started as a normal evening. I had just returned from work, expecting the usual greetings, the faint smell of dinner, and the comforting routine of life with my wife. But as soon as I stepped through the door, I realized something was off. I could hear her voice from the living room, unusually loud and casual. At first, I thought she was on a call with a friend, laughing at a joke, but as I got closer, the words hit me like a hammer. "I can dump him anytime," she said, laughing in a way that made my chest tighten. "Seriously, it's so easy. He's clueless, so predictable." I froze in the hallway, every instinct screaming that I hadn't misheard. She wasn't talking to a friend, she was speaking to someone else, someone she trusted, about me, about us, like I didn't exist. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. My mind raced, piecing together months of subtle signs, the late-night texts, the unexplained absences, the whispered conversations I had brushed off. It wasn't just imagination, it was reality. She was openly admitting she had been cheating, and worse, she believed she held all the power. I wanted to confront her immediately, to yell, to demand answers. But another thought struck me: if I did that, I'd lose the element of control, the ability to truly understand how far this had gone. So I stayed silent, backing away slowly into the kitchen, my phone in hand. I made one call. One simple, discreet phone call. Moments later, I heard a subtle shift in her tone. A pause, a sharp intake of breath, a flicker of recognition in her voice. The person on the other end of the line she had trusted completely, her lover, was now unsure, suddenly aware that their secret world was fragile, exposed. She ended the call abruptly, glancing around the living room. Her smile faltered as her eyes met mine from across the room. I didn't speak. I didn't need to. The look I gave her said everything I knew. Every secret, every lie, every betrayal had just been revealed in one silent, deadly moment. Her words, "I can dump him any time," echoed in my mind, but the tables had turned. In that moment, she realized it wasn't her who held the power anymore. It was me. The calm, quiet power of knowing everything, of seeing through the deception, of watching her panic without uttering a single threat. I let the silence stretch. It was unbearable. She moved closer, nervously, perhaps hoping to explain, to laugh it off, to charm me back into complacency. But I had already seen the truth. Her casual cruelty, the way she thought I was oblivious, the way she treated our marriage as disposable, it was over. I finally spoke, low, deliberate. "So you can dump me any time?" I said, letting the words sink in. "And yet, here I am, standing in my own home, while you've been planning your exit like I wouldn't notice. Explain yourself." Her composure cracked. The easy confidence vanished, replaced by frantic stammering. I didn't mean it like that. I was joking. It was nothing serious." I laughed softly, bitterly. "Nothing serious? You called it easy. You laughed about it. And now you're worried I overheard. Funny how that works. Over the next hour, the confrontation escalated, not with yelling, not with threats, but with cold, hard truth. I let her reveal everything, let her confess in fragments, each word confirming the months of suspicion I had harbored. Emotional affairs, secret meetings, intimate messages, all laid bare. The betrayal was staggering, but I didn't crumble. I let her see the impact, the consequences, the damage she had inflicted on the person who had trusted her completely. And through it all I remained calm, detached, in control. By the time the night ended, I had made my decision. There was no going back. The trust that had been shattered couldn't be repaired. The intimacy that had been violated couldn't be reclaimed. And most importantly, the power dynamic had shifted permanently. She could no longer treat our marriage as disposable, because the realization of her actions and my knowledge of them would follow her for the rest of her life. In the following days, I began reclaiming my space, my dignity, and my independence. I documented everything, preparing for any eventualities, ensuring that the betrayal wouldn't leave me powerless. And though she attempted to apologize, to rationalize, to manipulate, I no longer listened. I had seen the truth, and it was irreversible. Overhearing her words, making that single call, and watching her world shift in real time was a lesson I would never forget. Betrayal is not always secret, not always hidden. Sometimes it's a careless word, a phone call, a moment of overconfidence. And sometimes the only way to reclaim control is to remain calm, act deliberately, and let the consequences speak for themselves. She thought she had all the power. One phone call later, she learned exactly who did.